here we are with Mouseguard, a Canadian tale. It is January 2019, but we recorded this much earlier in the year. We're only doing the intro here at the end, because that's what happens sometimes. I am Devin, and to my left we have...
Nicole?
Kevin?
Peter.
Tyler?
Alright, and to let you know, Tyler is running this game. So this is the introductory episode. You will listen to this episode first, and then the others in sequence.
Presumably.
Probably. So I think we should talk about what Mouseguard is. Tyler, do you want to take it from there?
Sure. So, Mouseguard is a game by Luke Crane. It's a Burning Wheel derivative. I personally think it's superior to Burning Wheel, but that's my opinion. It's a D6 game that uses pass or fail mechanics. One of the highlights, for me at least, is the conflict resolution system that it uses, which can apply to all kinds of conflicts, not just fights, but negotiations, chases, journeys, all sorts of things. It's a really fun system.
Yeah, I like the conflict resolution engine, the fact that it's universal for all conflict, and it's not like 80 pages of fight mechanics and how to swim with armor. But I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it has stakes and so on. You sort of figure out how things go from there.
Yeah, like it has a fair amount of crunch in there, but it feels the most narrative of all those types of like games we've played from that generation.
Yeah.
To come from a spin-off of Burning Wheel 2 is crazy. Because Burning Wheel's a little heavy.
Yeah.
And, needless to say, it's set in the Mouseguard universe comic thing.
Yeah, which is based on the comics.
Yep.
Which, if you haven't read, you should definitely give a quick peruse.
Gorgeous art for those comics.
Yeah, it's a medieval mouse society that is patrolled and protected by the Mouseguard, which operates out of Lockhaven, which is a fortress city at the center of the Mouse territories. And they deal with all kinds of threats and problems within the Mouse territories. And the players take the role of Mouseguard. There's different ranks depending on your age that people can be, and together you form a patrol that gets a mission or set of missions to go and accomplish.
And the mouse in Mouseguard, they're not people mice. They're actually little teeny tiny field mice that stand on two legs.
Yep.
And they scurry, like if they're running and stuff, they can actually scurry on their legs and go.
Everything's up to scale.
Yeah, they're scaled up tiny little field mice. It's adorable.
You fight the things like the owls or
Owls, snakes, spiders.
Yep.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, your phone? Let me hear it pause. There we go.
So in this adventure, the patrol... the job of the patrol is to deliver grain to 3 different settlements. And they're escorting grain merchants and dealing with all the various troubles and trials and tribulations they encounter on the way.
Yeah, it's like we're doing a whole season, basically. Because it started in winter and it's ended in winter, right?
Yeah.
It was like a slice of life, a year in the life or whatever.
Starting in early spring and kind of going towards
and going to the
winter ended, spring began. Now we're coming all the way back around to winter. Yeah, time passed, baby. Nicole looked at me in shock. That's the context, listeners.
So do we want to talk about characters?
Sure. Who wants to start? Nicole? Peter? Kevin? Alright, so I got to play in this game, listeners, which means I got to play a character. So I built a character, and it was great, because I haven't actually built a brand new character in a long time. Usually I'm repurposing old ones. But it's Mouseguard, so I got to do that. So Gearheart was my mouse. She is a mouse that's like 50, which is a lot for mice. How long do mice usually live?
I don't know. I think the mice in Mouseguard live like human lifespans.
Okay, it's not like they're by 3 or 4 they're riddled with tumors.
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, she's 50. She's a little. People think she's slow was kind of the thing I went with, and she's like big. She actually took like the big perks to be a big fucker. She's covered in scars. She was in the Weasel War, which is the war against weasels, which are the other smart race in the setting. Like the weasels are intelligent and horrible. and there was an actual like war on their entire species in the setting because they kept trying to set up camps to breed mice to eat them. Because even though there's an entire society of food out there that aren't intelligent, weasels like the taste of sapient brain meat the most. So there's a forever war going on with them. And Gerhardt was in that war, and she's been in the Mouseguard for like most of her life, and hasn't progressed past like the first or second rank because she's just not that great at doing that. She literally can't really take on the responsibility past being just a Mouseguard who follows orders. The other thing is she has a pretty complicated backstory with spouses and kids. Last count I had for Gerhardt was she had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 children across 4 spouses, 3 husbands and a wife.
Those are just the ones she didn't eat.
I'm almost certain they don't do that in this world. Fucking T'Challa and Black Panther, we don't do that here. She's big, she's strong, she's a war veteran, she has a lot of kids and ex-spouses and stuff, and has a complicated history and relationship with them. Kevin is playing one of my sons, actually, one of the ones I coddled.
One eye.
Ruined,
yeah, and Nicole's playing one of my children's spouses.
Yes.
And I'm here too.
Oh, yeah, Peter's basically another Mouseguard who's very young, he's a scout mouse. And I'm basically like you know, coddling him. It's like, oh, look at you little buddy. Yeah. Oh, also, yeah, she has a nickname from the Weasel War we discovered from play. One Eye. Mostly because when building the character, I put everything I could into fight and having a monster weapon, which was a big hammer, which we used the axe stat for. And every conflict we ever go into, listeners, spoiler alert, you're not supposed to really do this in the Mouseguard system, but I went for kill or maim. And ended up tearing out the eye of every monster we've ever fought.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to remember this. This is going to be weeks apart. So the meme that we've made up is in the Weasel War, because I keep doing it in every fight, is I must have been doing this to weasels. So there's this nickname of a big, giant mouse covered in scars with a hammer called One Eye. And it's like, does she have one eye? It's like, no, she doesn't have one eye. And usually it's a weasel with an eye patch saying it. Yeah, you know, she's a big mouse. You know, her fur has scar tufts all over it. You know, her ear has like a bite mark out of it. She carries a hammer that's been welded together for her because she's big. She usually wears like a, you know, whatever mice wear, which isn't a lot because they're mice. They don't really carry a lot of gear on them.
Plus, you believe in instinct.
Oh shit, you're asking me
That's
what my character
important for the
Okay,
character.
so Gerhardt's beliefs are, I cannot think of a problem that cannot be solved with force. And the wording of that is important. I cannot think of a problem that cannot be solved with force. And instinct is always follow orders. She's very much in her comfort zone when she has structure and leadership. She comes from Shorestone. Her fur color is brown-black. And her cloak color, because Mouseguards have a fun little cloak color, is blue and white. Like clouds. And her fight rating is 6. Fight. Everything else is 3 or 2, but I took fight 6. I did it in character creation. It's so good. Yeah, that is Gerhardt.
So what's the next? I guess, should I?
Sure.
Someone should.
So my character is Finn Smallpaws. Normally, you know, mouse don't have a name, but his family is Smallpaws because they're really small. So they have the name to them. He's a really small mouse, like half the size of normal mouse, and compared to Gerhardt, even less, I guess. So yeah, he's the youngest of the bunch. He's like 15, you know, barely joined the Mouseguard. He doesn't have a cloak because he hasn't earned one yet. It's like his first bigger mission, I guess. He's a tender paw. Awesome. Yeah, he's like a good at like pathfinding, scouting, and so on. Trying to be helpful. He's like full on nature rather than other things there. Well, he's from Copperwood. He's brown furred and yeah, small little guy. His beliefs is that he wants to work smarter and not harder, and his instinct is to use his size to his advantage. I took double shorts, so it's really small. Yep, that's my character.
I'll go next then. Okay. So my mouse is named Reynard. He's like a red-furred, almost. He's kind of like a bard in a lot of ways. He's the leader of the little Mouseguard troop we've got going on, which he is woefully ill-fitted for, but he kind of just took it by virtue of having served with Mouseguard for quite a while, and just, in general, being he's very effective at keeping morale up. His cloak color is rose, and again, he's Gerhardt's son, kind of one of the middle children.
I think you're from phase 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah. How many phases were there?
Like 4 or 5.
Some middle middle children.
We're middle children of middle children.
We have a spreadsheet for this.
Yeah, there's some charts and spreadsheets, and I actually went to one of those websites where you make like family trees to kind of map it.
To the point where we are discussing, hey, maybe we should shift the game by 1 year, and there was no, that will throw my math off.
If you shift the game 1 year, several of my children will not be born or will be dead.
Yeah, his parents were his dad was a baker. His his overseer or his trainer was a brewer. He's basically not fit for combat at all, but he just still kind of pushes through.
Wait, what's your character's name again?
Reynard.
Reynard? You were phase 2.
His belief is that his moral compass trumps his duty, and his instinct is to never leave anyone behind. He's a very, very compassionate person, kind of boisterous, and I'm not going to say inept, but he rushes into things head first and doesn't think things through in general. Gonna say that's it.
Yeah, you're the leader of the group, I guess. The pack.
Yeah, you're a Mouseguard leader.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm your Padawan or something.
Yeah, you're the Padawan learner.
Yeah.
Meat shield.
How many did you have before? And
Oh yeah, he's gone through like a few. A few of them have died. His best friend was under his was with him, and she lost a foot.
Oh no!
She's shorter?
What? Yes.
You're like, I'm gonna get another, right?
Have this
Yeah.
one. Beep, beep,
It's never
beep.
been specifically like his doing.
Your
it's
last Padawan lost a foot, and now your new one's shorter.
just keep getting tinier.
It's tinier and cuter.
Do you think someone's made that joke to their face?
Oh yeah, and he's from Shaleborough, which I think is all about like crops and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I was
I
living in
can't remember.
Shaleborough for a while.
You kind of moved around.
Yeah, I've
Hoard
been in a
around.
few different cities.
Very long and very
Actually, I used to be a leader. I had a leadership term in Shaleborough, and I fucked it up so badly. One of my third daughters actually our nemesis because she's now leadership, and the shadow of how badly I messed that up is ruining her political life.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. We really fucked that up together, you and I.
very long and complicated backstory.
So
Your
yeah,
twin sister.
keeps happening in every game. So that's Nicole is next then.
My character's name is Gwyn. She's fairly young and is patrol guard rank, which is it's not the lowest, but it's not the highest, basically.
Is it above or below guard mouse?
It's above.
Oh yeah, you outrank me.
Oh yeah.
Everyone but the baby outranks me.
Oh yeah.
I'm not the papa.
Her
She starts rocking you to sleep. It's okay, buddy. Don't need to argue.
her fur color is black. Her cloak color is spring leaf green. Her belief is a life without adventure is a life not lived. And her instinct is, when confronted with the unknown, always investigate. She is married to one of Gerhardt's sons, named Alphonse, and he is one of the blacksmiths in Lockhaven.
Oh yeah. Alphonse is from the same generation as Kevin's character, and that daughter that really doesn't like us.
Yeah, he was originally from Shaleborough.
Yeah.
Also,
We can't go back to Shaleborough.
she has an older brother who is her enemy. Basically, he thinks that. One moment. Why does he hate me again?
Maybe he just does.
Sibling rivalry.
He basically thinks that Gwyn abandoned the family and stuff, and thinks that Gwyn's arrogant and thinks she's better than them, and says that she makes their parents worry. And Gwyn basically thinks that her brother is a snob and stuffy, and not very mouse-like at all.
Oh my
He's
god.
he's an archivist.
A bit of a douche.
He's all like into books and stuff.
And then you're serving under someone who's super, super not mouse-like either.
Which one? The monster that kills ferrets, or the kind of part of the party?
Touche.
Which one of the people she serves under?
Because nature's a thing in this. Like,
Yeah.
you can be super mouse-like or kind of human-like.
Yeah.
Humans don't exist in this, but, you know, you can act like them.
I know you're her mother-in-law, but she doesn't serve under you. She outranks you.
What would happen if Gearheart told you to do something?
I mean, she's Zero Crusher, so.
There it is. There it is.
Rank has been defined.
There's a just because you're
Pecking
rank me
order.
doesn't mean there's not a pecking order. Yeah, there we go. That's all the characters, right?
Yep.
So yeah, this game started in spring, and we're going through all these different towns, delivering grain. The system's neat. Our characters are colorful and diverse. Anything else you want to cover?
Nope.
Check out the Mouseguard book. It's probably one of the best versions of Burning Wheel I've seen. And check out the Mouseguard comic. It's a pretty good Redwall comic.
It's like Redwall if it wasn't...
I am that is. I am that is. If it wasn't that. It's just adorably drawn. They're little faces. It's great. Well, I guess that means we're done, right?
Yep.
That's an intro? That's
Yep.
a wrap? Alright, well, I was Devin,
Nicole?
Tyler?
Kevin.
And Peter.
and this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.